My God, you guys, the internet is on fire right now, and it's all because of this one haunting video that no one saw coming. 4 years after the world lost Juice WRLD, the unthinkable just dropped. Bodycam footage of his final tragic moments, and let me tell you, it is gut-wrenching. This isn't just another viral clip. This is the raw, unfiltered nightmare from December 8th, 2019, the exact moment everything went horribly wrong. Juice WRLD, real name Gerard Higgins, was only 21, a whole life ahead of him, snatched in a blur of sirens, seizures, and slow-moving cops. The video hit the internet like a meteor, exploding across timelines and TikTok, but this wasn't just clout-chasing content, no. This was different. This was painful to watch, and it split the internet in two. See, Juice WRLD wasn't just some rapper, he was the voice of a generation. The SoundCloud phenom who went diamond with Lucid Dreams. That song, it wasn't just a hit, it was therapy for millions. He wasn't afraid to show his darkness, his battles with Xanax, perks, lean. His honesty made him real, made him relatable, made him loved.
Lucid Dreams was the smash. Everybody loved. Now, what was the idea and the feeling of Lucid Dreams?
It's funny because I wrote that song in like 15 minutes. And then on the original mixtape that it was on, I didn't think that was gonna be it was just another song. Obviously I liked it enough to put it on the project.
But that same honesty, it came with a price. Fame didn't just bring fans, it brought pressure, demons, a toxic cocktail of success and self-destruction. And that's what makes this footage so devastating, because you can literally see it unraveled.
And I don't feel like a lot of guys express that.
No. And the people that do, like, people be ready to make fun of them for it when they got the same feelings, they just scared to say it, you know? But like, I feel like as far as, like, I didn't know that many people was gonna be able to relate to heart. It surprised me how many people related to that song, you know?
Everybody has their heart broken.
But they don't talk about it.
But a lot of people don't
Especially
talk
guys.
about it, though.
Girls talk about it, but guys don't do songs expressing how heartbroken they were.
Juice had just flown private from Cali to Chicago's Midway Airport, but what should have been a smooth touchdown turned into the scene of a night. The feds were already waiting. Why? A tip-off about and weapons on the plane. And from the moment that door opened, things spiraled fast. The footage is raw. It captures Juice mid-seizure, chaos erupting, people screaming, and the worst part, some of the cops look like they don't even care, like they're more interested in the evidence than the life slipping away right in front of them.
I think I got one.
Ali Lottie, Juice's girlfriend at the time, is heard crying out, "You're gonna be okay, baby." You can feel the terror in her voice. It wasn't just about a celebrity losing consciousness. It was about a young woman losing her world. It was about people living through something traumatic as cops stood there, confused, cold, slow. Photographer Chris Long, he was there too, got handcuffed while Juice was dying. Let that sink in. Instead of helping, they were making arrests. And the fans, they were livid.
Some boots. Yeah. Hey, sit down, man. You got a belt on? Yeah. You want that too? Yeah.
Social media exploded. Sharing the Bodycam footage of Juice WRLD's final moments is actual disgusting behavior. One user raged, and others agreed, saying it was disrespectful to his family, his legacy, his humanity. But then there was the flip side. Some fans argued that the footage, while horrifying, exposed the truth, that it showed how little the police cared, that it revealed a failure in the system, one that might have cost Juice his life. There's this constant tug of war, transparency versus dignity. Do we need to see it to believe it, or are we just consuming trauma for entertainment? Either way, this wasn't just about Jews anymore. It became about all of us, about how far we've let things go when it comes to law enforcement, addiction, mental health, and how we treat our stars. The timing of this video made things even worse. It dropped 4 years after Juice died, just as his family, friends, and fans were finally beginning to heal. And now, the wounds are wide open again. The questions are back, louder than ever. Why now? Who released it? And what really happened that day? The official story says Juice died of an accidental overdose, oxycodone and codeine. But this footage? It makes people wonder if there's more to it. Much more, the cops knew about the drugs and guns before they arrived. This wasn't a routine stop. It was a setup, a full-blown federal operation. So So now everyone's asking, did the pressure push Juice over the edge? Did he panic and take too much too fast just to hide it? Or was he already too far gone? We may never know for sure. But this video has cracked the case wide open. What's clear is that this moment, this heartbreaking viral moment, is bigger than Juice. It's about accountability, it's about the pressure cooker our young artists live in, and it's about the systems that keep failing them. Because Juice didn't just die, he was let down. The reactions haven't stopped pouring in. Fans, fellow artists, mental health advocates, everyone's watching and weighing in. And it's not just about Juice's death, it's about how it happened, about how the cops reacted or didn't. People aren't just sad, they're furious. Reddit's been blowing up. They didn't help him at all, one user fumed. Another posted, they were more worried about arresting people than saving Juice. And honestly, watching the footage, it's hard to argue.
You know, like, and I'm like, I know it's hard, and you think, you know, you get mad or whatever, and it was an emotional moment. You know, I told him too, I'm like, bro, like, there was one point I'm like, I will do as many pills as you do every day for a month. If you go to rehab, I'll go to rehab with you. Like, if that's what it takes, you know what I mean? Like,
you've got this heartbreaking scene, Juice seizing, Ali panicking, Chris Long getting cuffed, and the officers, some looked clueless, others just cold. Where was the urgency? Where was the humanity? And don't even get me started on the ambulance. There are reports that it was delayed, that the police were still rummaging through bags while Juice was fading. If that's true, that's not just negligence. That's unforgivable. Chris Long later opened up about what happened on that plane, about the talks they'd had, the pleas for Juice to get clean, the pain of watching him spiral. His account? It makes the footage hit even harder.
Like, if that's what it takes, you know what I mean? Like, and then like, we were walking in the bathroom and we had that little talk, and I'm like, we love you, we just, you know what I mean? And he's like, I don't want to stop. I go, you don't want to stop, you're out of control. You know what I mean? So,
because when someone is overdosing, every second counts. And yet, in this video, it looks like every second was wasted.
We were going back to Chicago for his birthday. His mom was like renting out like a go-kart track for him and stuff. Like, but we were late for the plane. We were like really late for the plane, like 6 hours. Like, Pete was like, yo, they're gonna cancel it on us. Pete wasn't there. He was calling like, they're gonna cancel it on us. Like, get it.
What's worse, this wasn't some spontaneous bust. The cops knew what they were walking into. And yet, where was the medical backup? The paramedics? The Narcan? Sure, they gave Juice Narcan, but by then, it was already too late. And even that's controversial. Not every officer carried Narcan back in 2019, so why wasn't anyone better prepared? Fans on Reddit pointed out that Juice was coughing up blood, internal bleeding. Narcan wasn't going to save him, but maybe, just maybe, something could have.
You know, it was weird. That plane ride was weird. I actually had a bad feeling immediately.
I remember you telling me that.
And I was sitting down, and then like I was like, the pilot was acting weird, the stewardess lady was acting weird, and I just felt something off, you know? I got up to like, yo, we should leave.
The video captures it all. Ali's screams, her tears, the terror, and it's too much, too real, too raw. Her grief didn't end that day. It followed her, broke her. Her struggles with reportedly got worse after Juice's death, and watching her cry over him in the footage is devastating.
And then, that's when like all the chaos broke loose. He made this weird noise. It was like something I've never heard, and I was like, what the f is that? Like, I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like a weird groaning noise or whatever. And then all of a sudden I look and he was just on the ground. And then
it's the contrast that kills you. Her sobs versus their cold stares, her humanity versus their procedures. And it's left everyone asking, how did this happen? Why did this happen?
And then the cops kind of just grabbed us all and just handcuffed us all together, arm to arm. Everybody but Ali. Ali wouldn't let go of Juice. She like grabbed him and tried to put him on his side and stuff like that.
And it doesn't stop there. This isn't just a Juice WRLD story anymore. This is a conversation about how we police, how we treat celebrities, how we handle addiction, how we handle people. Some are even saying this was about more than that. Maybe, just maybe, there was a racial element here too. Juice had been arrested before, caught with codeine and weed. Was that why the feds were so determined this time? Was this a trap they set without a net to catch him?
It seemed like all the cops there just didn't give a shit. Like, they sat there very nonchalantly, and like Ali's screaming to call 911. There was one female, I don't know, she was a cop. She seemed like she was in plain clothes, but I don't know what she was. But
Chris Long learning about Juice's death while still in handcuffs? That's trauma. That's pain. That's the kind of thing that haunts you.
And then I mean, I didn't find out he was gone until I was in jail. Like, I was just in the holding cell. And then I was like, just, handcuffed to the wall. And these 2 detectives just walked in. They're like, literally verbatim, they're like, we don't give a shit about anything else. We just want to know about the kid that died. And I was like, what? I'm like, who died?
That is so heartless.
Stay tuned for next part where we dive deeper into the aftermath, the emotional fallout from his family, the reactions from the hip-hop world, and how Juice's story has become a symbol of a broken system that desperately needs fixing.
As a mom, you can't help it. You can't help but wonder, where his career would be, where his life would be at this point. In my head, I would say, he wouldn't be struggling anymore with drugs. He would have conquered that and just living his best life. So
once the footage dropped, it was like someone ripped the bandage off a still bleeding wound. Juice WRLD's family had spent 4 long years trying to pick up the shattered pieces of their hearts. And then, boom, just like that, the internet dragged them right back into that nightmare. No one was hit harder than his mother, Carmela Wallace. She'd turned her grief into action, founding the Live Free 999 Foundation to help other young people battling addiction and mental health issues. But watching her son's last moments replayed like some horror scene for the world to gawk at, that wasn't healing, that was torture. Her first national interview after the footage went viral was raw, honest, heartbreaking. She spoke about the pain of losing Juice and the fight to keep his memory alive in a way that could help others, but you could still see it in her eyes. This wound may never fully heal. And the fans? Oh, they felt it too. Juice wasn't just a rapper to them. He was a lifeline. His music was the soundtrack to their sadness, their anxiety, their pain. He made them feel seen in a world that constantly ignored them. Seeing his final moments wasn't just disturbing, it was traumatizing. Many said it felt like losing him all over again.
Well, in high school, he had therapy because he had impulsive behavior. So I had him see a psychologist. So he was used to communicating and really getting in touch with his feelings.
What were you seeing at age 15?
In Reddit threads and fan forums, the grief was loud. People cried, raged, broke down. They remembered his lyrics, his interviews, the way he always opened up about his pain, about their pain. And let's talk about the music industry, because this footage, it forced a reckoning. Juice's death wasn't just about one artist overdosing. It was a mirror reflecting the culture that helped bury him. The drugs, the pressure, the nonstop grind, the silence around mental health, all of it. Suddenly, everyone was re-examining things. Critics called out the industry's obsession with substance-fueled creativity. Artists started speaking up about the glorification of lean and pills in rap. Some even admitted they were scared for their own lives. She had a message for parents everywhere. Listen to your kids. Pay attention. Know what's popular in their world. Because when we were growing up, people smoked weed. That was it. We didn't pop pills like they do now. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what to look for. And it's true. The culture shifted and parents didn't see it coming. She said the most important thing is to listen without judgment, to have those uncomfortable conversations, because silence can be deadly. And when you go back and watch Juice's old interviews, it's chilling. He told us he was hurting. He said music was how he coped, that his sad songs came from real places. His pain, his friends' pain, his fans' pain. He made music for the broken, the lost, the anxious, and he carried that weight. I talk about stuff people are too scared to touch on, he said in an old Breakfast Club interview. That's just part of me. And now that part of him is gone. But the conversation he started, it's louder than ever. The impact of this body cam footage won't go away. Not next week, not next year. It has changed the way people talk about addiction, celebrity, law enforcement, and humanity itself. It's made fans question the system, made mothers hold their kids tighter, made artists reevaluate their lyrics. In her final words, Carmela Wallace said something powerful. No parent wants to hear that news, but I believe in facing things head on. We need to have those conversations, and we need to listen, because this footage wasn't just a tragedy. It was a wake-up call. It was a brutal, gut-punch reminder that behind every viral clip, every police report, every breaking headline is a real person. Son, a friend, a human being. And Juice WRLD? He wasn't just a rapper. He was a symbol of pain, of honesty, of potential cut short. The footage may have captured his final moments, but it didn't capture his spirit. That lives on. in his music, his foundation, and the millions of fans who refuse to let him be forgotten. So, yes, it was traumatizing. Yes, it reopened wounds. But if it sparks change, if it forces institutions to do better, if it saves even one life, then maybe, just maybe, this painful exposure wasn't in vain. Because the streets haven't forgotten Juice WRLD. They can't. They won't. His voice still echoes through speakers, through tears, through hearts that are still healing. And his message, that it's okay to not be okay, that you are not alone, and that the fight is worth it, even if the ending wasn't what we hoped for. Juice WRLD's legacy, it's more than music. It's a movement. And this story, his story, is far from over.